Hi, what's up, guys? Hey, good to be back with you here again today. We've got another 1908 game for you. It's the White Sox at the Naps. Now, if you know about the 1908 season, you'd ask me why I don't show every single game between these two teams. It's been a little while here, and I'll show you why here in the standings. It's because these teams are a little bit out of it. White Sox are not. They are tied now with the Red Sox for first place, which is why we're seeing this. The Naps are below 500, a little bit out of it. This is a very, very close American League. So as we go along, we'll probably see more games with every team. Fielder Jones to lead this off for the White Sox rolls a 51 for a 9, which is a strikeout against Addie Josh, one away. Here's Ed Hahn. He rolls a 41 for a 28, and that's a ground ball over to, where is he pairing, who throws over to first, the shortstop, 2 away. And here's Patsy Doherty. Doherty rolls a 34 for a 44. That's a little fly ball over to Birmingham in center field, and that's the third out. We go to the bottom of the first. Here is Napoleon Lajoie, rolls a 31 for an 8. That's a pop fly out over to the third baseman, Tannehill, 1 away. Here's Josh Clark. He rolls a 42 for a 14, and there's a walk given up by Ed Walsh, a rarity. Walsh has given up only his third walk of the season against 21 strikeouts. George Stovall now rolls a 61 for a 41, and that's going to be changed over to a 36 because of the unusual play result number mechanism, which is a wild pitch that sends Clark up to second. So a little difficulty there for Walsh. Next roll is a 54 for a 45. We do have a little E to worry about, though. And this little E roll is going to be a 56, which is out of the range. That means it's a fly ball over to Hahn in right field. Makes the catch for the out. There's 2 away, and here's Bill Hinchman, runner on third base. And Hinchman rolls a 33 for a 0. And the next roll is a 24 for a 6, and that's going to be a double to right field, and that will score the runner. 1-0 Naps in this one, and here comes Bill Bradley. Runner on second base as Hinchman got the big hit. His roll is a 21 for a 30. That's a little fly ball over to Doherty and left. He makes the catch for the out. We go to the top of the second. Here's George Davis. Davis rolls a 35 for a 36. Changes to 38. Doesn't matter. It's a ball either way. Next roll is a 22 for an 8, and that's a pop fly over to Bradley, the third baseman, for the first out. Here's Ferdy Parent. He rolls a 46 for a 29. That is going to be a comebacker over to Addie Josh, and he throws over to first for the out. 2 away. Here's Jiggs Donahue. Rolls a 22 for an 8, and that's another little pop fly up there to Bradley. Makes the catch. Bottom of the second, here's Joe Birmingham. Joe rolls a 62 for a 12. We do have a little E that comes up. It's going to be a 46 out of the range. That's a little comebacker, a little ground ball over to Donahue, the first baseman, who does it himself, 1 away. That brings up George Paring, who rolls a 43 for a 29, and that's the comebacker to Walsh. He throws over to first for the out, 2 away, and here's Harry Bemis. He rolls a 25 for a 9, and there's a strikeout. We go to the top of the third inning. Lee Tannehill, and you knew when you saw who was pitching today that this one was going to be pretty pitcher-friendly. Tannehill rolls a 65 for a 35. That's a pop fly over to the third baseman. Let's see, that's Bradley, who makes the catch for the out. 1 away, Alfred Shaw now. He rolls a 45 for a 14, and that is going to be 2 balls on Shaw because of that ZZ by Joss. Next one's a 31 for a 13, and that's a strikeout, and that's worse than Ed Walsh's card. Here comes Ed. He rolls a 41 for a 27. That's a ground ball over to Bradley at third base. He throws over to first for the out. We go to the bottom of the third inning, and here's Addie Josh. Roll is a 13 for a 23. That is changed to a 36. That's going to be a ball. Next roll is a 21 for a 13, and that's a strikeout. Second one picked up by Walsh. Here comes Lajoie. Rolls a 44 for a 7, and there's a single to right field. Only the second hit of this ball game. That brings up Josh Clark. Clark rolls a 51 for a 9, and that's another single. Beats out the infield hit, sends Napoleon over to second base, and here comes George Stovall. And the question here is, do we swing away or do we decide to bunt? I think we're just going to swing away here instead of trying to sacrifice. And the roll is a 12 for a 24. We should have sacrificed. It's a ground ball over to Davis. Flips over to Parent for 1, on to Donahue for the other. That's a double play. We go to the top of the fourth. Fielder Jones now. No hits for the White Sox. As soon as I say it, they get their first hit of the ball game. Jones with a single over to right field. That brings up Ed Hahn. And we probably should play hit and run here. We will. We're going to play hit and run here and see what happens. The roll's a 55 for an 8, and that's going to be a ground ball over to Lajoie. Throws over to first for the out. There goes Jones to second, 1 away, and here's Doherty. And his roll is a 46 for a 29. That's a little ground ball over to Stovall, who flips over to Addie Josh, covering the bag for the out, 2 away. Here's George Davis. And the roll for him is 31 for a 14, and there's a walk. Up comes Freddie Parent now, runners on first and third. And the roll is a 24 for a 13, and that's a strikeout. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Here's Bill Hinchman. His roll is a 46 for a 13. Another strikeout. Lots of strikeouts in this one. 3 so far for Walsh. Up next is Bill Bradley, who rolls a 12 for a 25. We do have a little E, though, and this could be second base. Let's see. Nope, the roll's a 66, and that's going to be a ground ball then to second base. Davis has it, throws to first for the out, 2 away. Joe Birmingham now rolls a 52 for a 27, and that goes over to third base. That's going to be Tannehill, who grabs that one and makes the play, throwing over to first for the out. Jiggs Donahue now top of the 5th inning, 1-0 game. He rolls a 33 for an 8, and that's a little ground ball over to Paring, who throws to first for the out, 1 away. Here's Lee Tannehill. He rolls a 41 for a 28. That's another ground ball over to Paring, the shortstop, 2 away. Here's Alfred Shaw. He rolls a 66 for a 6, and that's a double, clean double off of Addie Josh to right center field. Here comes Ed Walsh with the potential tying run on second base, top of the 5th. And his roll is a 55 for a 9, and that's going to be a single. And unfortunately for the White Sox, it's Birmingham, the center fielder, who throws him out of the plate. The throw goes over to Bemis, and that's really the first exciting play I think we've had so far in this ball game. This game will remain a 1-0 game after despite Walsh's base hit, the White Sox are not able to capitalize and score. And I haven't created my folder yet. And now we've got it ready, and we'll go ahead and save this one for us. So pretty exciting play there to end off the top of the 5th inning. The game is still 1-0 in favor of Cleveland, and we'll move on here to the bottom of the 5th inning. George Paring will start this one off against Ed Walsh. And the roll is a 21 for a 30. That's a fly ball over to Doherty in left field. He makes the catch for the out, 1 away. Here's Harry Bemis. Rolls a 23 for a 32, and that's a fly ball over to Hahn in right field, 2 away. And here's Addie Josh. His roll is a 16 for a 26. That's a ground ball over to Davis. Davis throws over to first for the out. We go to the top of the 6th, and it's Fielder Jones. And his roll is a 42 for a 14, which is, of course, 2 balls because Josh just doesn't give up those walks. He's only given up 2 so far this season. Next roll is a 43 for a 29, which is a comebacker over to Addie Josh. Throws over to first for the out, 1 away. Here's Ed Hahn. And Hahn's roll is a 21 for a 30. That's a fly ball over to left field. Clark has it for the out, 2 away. Here's Doherty. And he rolls a 12 for a 25, which is a ground ball over to Napoleon over at second. Throws over to first for the out. Here comes Larry Lajoie. He rolls a 31 for an 8. That's a ground ball over to shortstop Parent. Throws to first for the out, 1 away. Josh Clark. Clark up there rolls a 51 for a 9, and that's a single, but he's thrown out trying to steal, and that's the second out. And here comes Stovall, hit number 4 of the game for Cleveland, and his roll is a 31 for an 8. That's a fly ball over to center field. Jones has it for the out, top of the 7th. Exciting. Roll for Davis is a 31 for a 14, which again is only 2 balls against Addie Josh. Next roll is a 51 for a 9. That's a single, but Davis is thrown out trying to steal afterwards for the first out. Here's Freddie Parent. And his roll is a 22 for an 8, and that's going to be a ground ball over to Paring, the shortstop. Throws to first for the out, 2 away. Donahue now rolls a 64 for a 13, and there's a strikeout. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning, still 1-0, and here comes Bill Hinchman. His roll is a 46 for a 13, and that's a strikeout number 4 for Walsh. 1 away. Here's Bill Bradley now. He rolls a 14 for a 43. That's a little fly ball over to Doherty in left field, 2 away. Joe Birmingham now rolls a 62 for a 12. And the resulting roll is a 21, which means that has changed to an 18. That's going to be an error on the shortstop, Freddie Parent, which sends Birmingham over to first base with 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. The next roll is a 43 for a 29. So much for making them pay. That's a little comebacker over to Walsh. Throws over to first for the out. We go to the top of the 8th inning. Here comes Lee Tannehill. Tannehill's roll is a 44 for an 8, which is a ground ball over to Paring. The shortstop throws to first for the out. 1 away. Here's Alfred Shaw. He rolls a 42 for a 32. That's a fly ball over to Hinchman in right field for the second out. And here comes Walsh. He rolls a 45 for a 14. Again, that's 2 balls on him. The next roll is a 22 for an 8, and that's a quiet fly ball over to Birmingham in center field. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Here's Harry Bemis. He rolls a 42 for a 13, and that's a strikeout. 1 away, number 6 for Ed Walsh. Addie Josh now. He rolls a 55 for a 9. That's a single, but he is caught out. He is thrown out trying to steal for the second out. Here's Lajoie, who rolls a 13 for a 36. That's going to be a ball. He then rolls a 56 for a 34, and that is a strikeout because of the Y. Strikeout number 7 of the game for Walsh against 4 for Joss. And here comes Joss up there now, top of the 9th inning. Joss pitching, rather. Let's see if Cleveland can get one back on Chicago. First batter is Fielder Jones, rolls a 13 for a 14, which is 2 balls. Next rolls a 13 for another 14. So Joss, uncharacteristic of him, winds up giving up that walk, and so it can happen. And that means here in the top of the 9th inning, the White Sox have something going with Jones getting that walk, earning that one off of Joss, and now we have some decisions to make. I think what we're going to do is I think we are going to do a hit and run here because there's so few bad things that can happen, at least as I understand it. The roll is a 32 for a 26, which is what we wanted. That's a hit and run ground ball over to Napoleon Lajoie at second base. Throws over to first for the out. No way to get Jones, who's going up to second base because of the hit and run. And so now the White Sox have 2 chances to score the run, and they have big man Patsy Doherty up next with George Davis on deck. Doherty has more chances to get the base hit, which is why I'm not going to bunt here. Let's see what happens. And the roll is a 24 for a 13. That's a strikeout by Addie Josh, and that's a really, really big strikeout here in this situation. That'll be the second out of the inning. And, it's only strikeout number 5 of the game for Joss, but boy, that one couldn't have come in a bigger moment. Here's George Davis now, runner on second base, 1-0 Cleveland. And the roll for Davis is a 43 for a 29, and that is a ground ball over to the first baseman Stovall, who flips over to Addie Josh covering at first base for the out, and that's the ball game. So at the end of this one, this turns into a 1-0 win for Cleveland. They will advance to 4-5. The White Sox go down to 6-4, and the American League is completely up for grabs here in the early going in 1908. Hope that you enjoyed that one. That was exciting and a little bit unexpected. Not much offense in it, and we played it quickly, less than 15 minutes. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.